Welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday evening. It's time to talk about the very best comic books that you could buy this week. We've only got 4 recommendations, but they're all very, very good recommendations. This is about as good as you can get if you're only going to talk about 4 comic books. And here with me, as always, is Drew from Comics Lead. How you doing, Drew?
Doing great, Wes. I have a very busy schedule, but one thing I do is I make time to talk about the best comics of the week. So let's talk about the very best comics of the week.
Speaking of the best comic books of the week, I think it's time to call it. For a time, Marvel Comics' best ongoing series was Immortal Hulk from Al Ewing. I personally think it gave way to Chip Zdarsky on Daredevil. After that, I think Moon Knight from Jed McKay became #1. And this week, I'm calling it Incredible Hulk. Phillip Kennedy Johnson overtakes that series as the best ongoing. We're only 3 issues into this. Nick Klein on art, but I think it's time to call it. We got Death of Moon Knight on the horizon. And Incredible Hulk is in a very strong place right now. Feels like a real return to the roots of Incredible Hulk, where it's this monster superhero that Incredible Hulk was always supposed to be. And in this particular issue, we get some cool stuff. He's got like a little female sidekick. It turns out there's a cult. They might be dead. They might not be dead. And they would like to sacrifice these people so they can kind of bring in this big, I don't know, devil kaiju guy into the world. Hulk ends up going down there, and he fights like this enormous kaiju thing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yes, it was. Nick Klein, really, not enough credit is going to Nick Klein. Not enough recognition is going to Nick Klein right now. His monster artwork is beautiful. It's second to none, and I can't wait to see what more he's got coming out in the next few issues. Because what they're setting up here, if you look at the hieroglyphics, if you will, on the walls of what the monster looks like, it has some type of Lovecraft type lore look to it, which I can completely go with because I love H.P. Lovecraft. And this issue was so much better than issue 2. Issue 2 was all right, but issue 3 just ramped up the action and the monster fights and this. It was great. And I really feel like they're going back to more of the Hulk roots with the sidekicks, like you mentioned earlier with the young girl, because it really has that feel of the Hulk with Rick Jones. We got now the Hulk with this young lady. And I can't wait to see the adventures that they get into. Phillip Kennedy Johnson, what he's doing here, he's telling a great Hulk story. Hulk is back on track to where it needs to be. This is really reminding me of those early issues with Al Ewing and Joe Bennett on the Immortal Hulk. So yeah, they've got relatively big shoes to fill, but I think they can do it. I think they got it in them. This is a great issue, best series at Marvel right now.
Nick Klein's doing absolutely amazing stuff. Obviously, you brought that one up. He moved over from Thor, and he's had a long history of doing kind of Norse god-related comic books, like Viking-type comic books. But I did not realize just how seamlessly he was going to go into the Hulk. There's a great image where you got Hulk with all these like dead guys trying to stab him and everything. It's so much fun to look at. It's absolutely terrifying, and it feels like Phillip Kennedy Johnson is taking that step up. You know, he got his chance on Action Comics when they really didn't know what to do with the book. You know, they're like, we're putting Clark to the side. We want to elevate John. Let's send Superman off to War World. Phillip Kennedy Johnson took chicken shit and made chicken salad, and now he's getting a premier character. Not that Superman isn't premier, but Action Comics is not the premier Superman book. He's getting one of the like 3 or 4 really big solo titles at Marvel with Incredible Hulk. And I think he's taken this chance and he's running with it. He's had the right career trajectory through comics. He started out with little smaller characters, smaller stories, worked on some lesser known characters, and he's kind of moving his way up to the big marquee names, and it feels like he's earned it.
You just bingo, you hit the word right there on the nail on the head. It's he earned it. He wasn't just thrust into this. He wasn't just given it because of his politics or his whatever else. He had to earn it through what he wrote. And yeah, by God, if you look at everything from The Last God to Action Comics to Aliens to a degree and to this, yeah, he's really ramped up his game, and I love what he's bringing here with the Incredible Hulk, and I really can't wait to see what's coming up next. And if you're a Hulk fan and you're not reading this, please do jump in on this. You're going to love the art. If you like Nick Klein's art on Thor, you're going to love his art on this. Oh my God, he blows it out of the water.
Yeah, if you're a Marvel fan, you're like, there's just nothing in continuity worth reading. Try out this Incredible Hulk. I have a feeling this will be the series for you. It's absolutely brilliant. Definitely the best thing that Marvel is doing now in continuity. Let's go step over to the indie scene. We only have 1 comic book to recommend, but it's a huge recommend. Conan the Barbarian, #2, Titan Books, Jim Zub, Roberto De La Torre on art here. I almost feel like I'm reading like the Dark Horse run or era of Conan the Barbarian, which is such a refreshing change to the weird, watered down, kind of bitched out version of Conan that they had in the Marvel Comics universe. There are some similarities actually to that Incredible Hulk run that we were just talking about. We do have Conan. He does have a sidekick, although he's a little bit more romantically interested in her than Hulk is on his sidekick. And there are a group of people. They might be zombies. They might not be zombies. They've attacked this place. They've got a horde of bodies or whatever. And it appears that they're going back to Samaria, where Conan is from, and they want to find out what's going on. Where is this coming from? Who's commanding all these weird things happening? And Samaria might take a little bit of damage in this one, and Conan might get a little bit of loving, which definitely feels like a Conan comic book. And there are just so many beheadings and so many other grotesque, vile things happening to people. I felt like I was in Samaria with Robert E. Howard again.
Exactly. If you love unfiltered Conan, if you love people fighting, if people, a human being or being at its bare essence, you know, a survivalist trying to survive, doing whatever they can to survive, being a sexual being as well at the same time. This is Conan. This is what Conan is at its core. And I truly respect that, and I truly love that. And yeah, once again, this issue packed one hell of a punch. And one of the small details I love about this is the lettering and the caption boxes, especially early on. It has that great Bronze Age feel to it. You look at the fonts and the headings of the captions. I love it. And the art, once again, it's fantastic. It's gory, it's sexy, it's kinetic. I love it. And yeah, the story, they're trying to figure out where this undead horde is taking these bodies. And yeah, the ending is one major, what? It's crazy. I love it. And what's even more interesting is that I went by 4 or 5 comic book stores here around my home, and all of them have sold out of this issue. All of them, which blew my mind. And this was great to hear. Yeah, Jim's up. He's 2 for 2 on this with Conan, and let's see if he can pull the hat trick. I think he's got it in him.
And definitely don't forget about Roberto De La Torre, because that art, it feels so Conan, it's not even funny. Thank you very much. Titan Comics, Jim's up, Roberto De La Torre. This is why I love the character. That's our indie comic book recommendation. Let's go back over to Marvel, because we got one more to recommend. Blade #2, Brian Hill, Elena Casagrande. I'm starting to get Killmonger vibes from this comic book. I remember reading Killmonger. It's an absolutely fantastic story from Brian Hill, but there's just like this aesthetic cool factor to it that is absolutely brilliant. And I'm starting to feel that cool factor with this Blade character. Everyone tries to make Blade as this enormously stoic character. He's got no emotions. He almost has no personality whatsoever. Brian Edward Hill is absolutely giving me the version of Blade that I really enjoy. I don't love the art in this one. It's kind of basic, but what the colorist does, and I believe the colorist is Jordi Belair on this, it's got such a cinematic feel. I could see this being like a TV show and this being an episode of Blade, and it's just looking so fucking cool.
Yeah, you know, what makes this issue interesting is that, for me, if you look at the art in this, compare it to issue 1, I thought it was a different artist. I honestly thought it was someone completely different. And because it just, to me, it looks leaps and bounds better. Maybe that is due to the colorist. I think the colorist did step up their game in this issue compared to issue 1. Yeah, there's a great deal of action here. I love it. Blade dealing with his ex, who hates him, but just can't be resisted by him.
Sexy. There's so much side boob.
Yes,
I love it. Give me more side boob. I don't need the, you know, it's a Marvel comic. I don't expect titties, but give me the half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. I just love the fact she hates him, but she can't resist him. I love that stuff. But you know, if there's one commonality in some of these comics this week, it's that the men are irresistible to the women in these issues, which is great. It's a great change of pace, and I love it. And it's great to see Blade with his balls back, you know, in control, kicking ass. But by the end of this, may someone else, someone older, be controlling him? You got to read to find out. This issue was immensely better than issue 1. Strong recommend. Please do check this out. Blade is back in the right direction.
Yeah, if you like the Blade character, definitely check this out. And I hope Brian Hill sticks around for at least a year, 18 months. Give me a nice full run of this, because this is the Blade that we should be seeing. He's a cool character, and he should be treated that way.
Yeah, you don't want to see him in the yellow sweater as an uncle, you know, hanging out. And
I don't want to see Bloodline or what. Get out of here. This is the Blade everybody wants. Let's go over to DC Comics, and it's a big week for DC. They ended up their Night Terrors event, but they also kicked off their Batman, Catwoman, Gotham War event. Are you recommending either of those?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on that, but I'm sure I'm sure there's quite a few YouTubers will probably be recommending that, not us.
No, they absolutely suck. But there was one good comic book from DC, and it's actually really fucking good. Completely surprising. Action Comics presents Doomsday Special #1, Dan Waters, Eddie Barrows. As soon as I saw Eddie Barrows was on, I was like, that's one of my favorite artists. That's going to be great. When I saw the cover, although there is some controversy, some people say this is AI art. It is a fucking spectacular cover. It looks absolutely magnificent. Dan Waters is a very interesting writer. Not exactly like a superhero, action-based storyteller kind of guy. He does much more expressionism, like metaphysical threats, stuff like that. And it really reaches into that and pulls out a great story. This isn't so much a Superman story. Yes, it's Action Comics. This is a Supergirl and Martian Manhunter go to hell to prevent Doomsday from taking over story. Didn't know that I wanted to read this, but it turned out it was absolutely brilliant. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in here.
Yeah, there is. And real quick about Bjorn Barons. Bjorn Barons did the cover on this. If anyone's familiar with Bjorn Barons' art style, this is how he's been illustrating his covers now for like the last 3-4 years. They're all brilliant. They're all beautiful. Anyone saying that that's AI, you're full of crap. Come to me. Yeah, come at me. I'll meet you at the convention. I know you didn't. I know you didn't, Wes. I know the people out there saying it's like, yeah, we'll have a little talk at a convention. Yeah, we'll talk. But yeah, I truly love this issue. First time I read this twice. First time I read it, I thought it was okay, but the second time, I truly loved it. And yeah, Doomsday, he's sending psychic signals out to Martian Manhunter and Supergirl, and they're sent to hell to check on him. Yes, hell does exist in the DC universe, and he's trying to make his way into hell. But the first of the fallen who runs hell, he believes that Doomsday, if he were to make his way into hell, he would become king and would probably unleash a Judgment Day level upon Earth with his newfound role as King of Hell, and which is terrifying thought if you really think about it. But anyway, the first of the fallen recruits Martian Manhunter, Supergirl to take him down. Does it work? Do the souls of hell want to help? Is there any hope? You got to read to find out. This was a fantastic read. Dan Waters wrote a terrific story here, and Eddie Barrows' art is amazing. Once again, he always nails it. The issue is worth every cent, and the backup with Bloodwind. Holy crap, it's good as well. I truly enjoyed that. I love Bloodwind in the 90s. Yeah, do check this out. It's worth every cent, guys.
Matt's on art there, too, so that also looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Action Comics presents Doomsday Special #1 from the cover to the interiors to the stories. You're going to get every bang for your buck.
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting it. It turned out really, really well. And if you're a fan of horror comic books, this is your week, because we did get this amazing, Incredible Hulk. We got this really cool Action Comics presents Doomsday Special. You're a fan of horror.
Absolutely.
Do you like to write or create horror comic books?
Yes, I do, actually. And I'm actually working on one right now with Aurelio Mazzara, my artist of Born of Blood 5 and 6. We are working on a brand new creator-owned title called Unholy Nightmare. It's launching on Halloween night. Hopefully the image you're seeing right now is of the main character, the Recluse. And effectively the pitch is H.P. Lovecraft and folklore with 1990s Extreme Studios action and 1980s Rebel Studios gore and horror. So we wanted to tell a kick-ass superhero and horror story. You're going to get every bang for your buck in this. If you love horror, if you love superheroes, if you love the 90s action, if you love 1980s indie Rebel Studio art, you're going to love this, guys. Halloween night. Stay tuned. Unholy Nightmare #1.
Very nice. Do you have a mailing list or anything, or they just got to wait?
We're going to be launching the Kickstarter link on Wednesday this week. That's going to be going out on Wednesday, guys.
Definitely want to give a big shout out and thanks to Drew for joining me talking about the very best comic books of the week. There's a new champion at Marvel Comics, and his name is Incredible Hulk. Fantastic stuff. Congratulations to everybody that turned in great comic books this week, because this week was kind of down other than that stuff. If you're done with the video and you're like, Wes, I just can't get enough, I need more of you, sir, I have made a ton of videos about comics and pop culture here on the channel. And YouTube has looked at what you like to watch and what I've created and decided this is the best video I ever created my entire life specifically for you. You should watch it right now. No hesitation. Keep the party rolling.